What's up, everybody? Merry Christmas. Welcome back to Christmas Every Day. I'm your host, Troy, and I really appreciate you guys checking us out, checking in, seeing what we've got going on. We've got a couple of new subscribers. I want to thank everybody that's checking in on our channel, and just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Now, at Christmas Every Day, we keep the Christmas spirit going year round, and we're going to keep doing that all the time. So, thank you so much for checking us out. If you're new to the channel, if this is your first time checking us out, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Say hi to us in the comments. And we really, really appreciate you checking this out. So I'm very excited about this episode, and I'll tell you why. It's because it's really my first content episode that I'm shooting. So, like the first couple of things, I had a trailer and little introductory episode that I did a couple of weeks ago, but now I'm finally getting into it, and I'm really, really excited, and I'm looking forward to getting this going. So, a few short things first. Number one, I want to give a big shout out to Bran and Scott over at the Christmas Morning Podcast. They gave me a shout out uh, last week, and then they also gave me another shout out this week. And they posted my YouTube link on their links page on their website. Just really cool guys. But even more important than that, it's a super, super cool podcast. Like they go weekly throughout the year, and then during the Christmas season, they post daily. I think Monday through Friday. So really, really good Christmas podcast. All kinds of cool stuff. Really, really, really cool guys. So give them a look. Christmas Morning Podcast. Look, if you're looking at my show, then you already know about Christmas Morning. But I'm telling you, these guys are top notch, and I love listening to every one of their episodes when it comes out every week. So Christmas Morning Podcast. And I think that's it for right now. So let's get on with it. The title of this episode is My Top 10 Favorite Christmas Songs. And this is something that's very, very personal to me. I love music. I love Christmas. Naturally, I love Christmas music. I think there are several things that trigger the Christmassy feelings, the nostalgia that a lot of people associate with Christmas. And Christmas lights are definitely one of those things. I think the biggest Christmas quote unquote trigger is probably Christmas music. And I think that's what is very, very important to a whole lot of people when it comes to the season. And I know it is with me, and I listen to Christmas music all year long. It's not something that I just pick up after Halloween or after Thanksgiving and then just put down after New Year's. It's something that I just listen to all year long. It's hugely important to me. So I love Christmas music. It's probably the most, I don't want to say important aspect of the holiday season to me, but it's definitely one of the most important aspects of the holiday season to me. So, without further delay, I'm going to get into my top 10 favorite songs. Now, let me tell you, this was a grueling process. It was a grueling, grueling process because there's so many songs. And I'm probably going to go through several different iterations of this video and of this show several different times throughout the year because my tastes are constantly changing. I'm growing as a person still. Yeah, I'm 52 years old. I don't want to listen to the same stuff all the time. I like listening to newer stuff. So, um, but these are my top 10 favorite Christmas songs right now. So I'm just going to get into it. Now, this is not in any particular order, with the exception of number one. Number one is my absolute favorite. If I had to listen to a Christmas song every day for the next 6 months, it would be this one. But then again, that's just right now. So anyway, let's get to it. So my favorite Christmas songs, and I'm going to have one honorable mention also. So in no particular order, we're going to start with Baby It's Cold Outside by Margaret Whiting and Johnny Mercer. Now, I heard this probably for the first time in about 2002, 2003. And of course, a ton of different versions of this song have been made, but this is the original version of this song that I heard the first time that I heard it. And it just really spoke to me as a very like romantic type song. It's a guy who's, obviously trying to hook up with a girl, and of course there are all kinds of, implications today that didn't exist back then, and I don't necessarily agree with those, but it's kind of a romantic, kind of flirtatious song. It's not even really a Christmas song. It doesn't really mention anything about Christmas in the song at all. I'm not really sure how it got turned into a holiday song, but here we are. So, but it's just a very kind of slow motion, kind of groovy, very laid back, kind of not even really get you into the mood, quote unquote, kind of thing. But then again, it is. It's, the guy's trying to get the girl to stay for a little bit and, cozying up to her and, "Hey, have a drink," and, "Well, let me put some records on," and, it's just a really, really cool, "Honey, you can't leave right now. It's freezing out there." It's a really, really cool song. It's crafty, it's a crafty, song. So I really appreciate that version. Margaret Whiting and Johnny Mercer. Next up is a song by one of my favorite Christmas artists, not necessarily one of my favorite artists, but when it comes to Christmas music, definitely. This is Harry Connick Jr., and it's off of the album When My Heart Finds Christmas. The song is called It Must Have Been Old Santa Claus. And this is such a cool song. It's very youthful. It's very jazzy. It's really vibrant. It's about this little boy who's going to bed, and Santa Claus comes by the window and takes him for a sleigh ride and then drops him back off. And it's just like this cool. It's just a fun song. I don't have a better way to describe it other than that it's just really fun and just youthful, energetic, just really vibrant. The music is just catchy. I mean, it just really makes you want to start dancing. It kicks it up another little notch, with the key change a little bit later in the song. Just a really, really cool song. I really love it. I can't recommend it enough. Must Have Been Old Santa Claus by Harry Connick Jr. Very, very energetic song. Um, a lot of you probably already know that. And if you haven't heard the album that it's on, When My Heart Finds Christmas, you've got to check it out. It's every song on it is positively amazing, and I love every single song on that album. And there aren't many albums that I can reference in that aspect at all. I There are very, very, very few albums that I just like every song on, and that's one of them. So Harry Connick Jr., you knocked it out of the park on that one, dude. And that's you made the top 10 list. All right, so the next one is Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses. This one came out in the early 80s. It's This is one of the more clever songs that I've ever listened to in my life, whether it's Christmas or not. And it's very catchy, but it tells a really cool story about this girl who has been trying to hook up with this guy like all year long, and they finally do at Christmas time and standing in line at the grocery store. But throughout the whole song, it talks about their missed opportunities that they had, like in summertime, they were gonna get hooked up, but she had sunburn, and, they were gonna hook up this one other time because his car was broke down, and it's just really clever the way that they phrase everything in the song. So, one of the lines, and I always just think it's really cool every time I hear it. One of the lines is, "Now the calendar's just one page." And it's been talking about this entire year where they've been trying to hook up, and now it's gotten to the end of the year. They still haven't hooked up yet, but she's been thinking about this dude all year long. So I think it's extremely well written. It's a very clever, very smart song. Not necessarily so much about Christmas, but it's obviously a Christmas song. And several times throughout the song, she's like, "Well, I'm just going to skip Christmas. I'm not doing it this year." And then finally at the end, she's like, "Well, yeah, yeah, we're doing Christmas this year because I met up with the guy at the end of the year and everything's cool." So it's just a very, very solid, very clever story that the song tells. So Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses, top notch. All right, the next one, if you're of a certain age, and I'm 52 years old, if you're of a certain age, and you really like Christmas, then your parents may have had this album in your house growing up. And it's the Beach Boys' Christmas album. I don't know what year this came out. It didn't really seem relevant to me. It's the same album that has Little Saint Nick that everybody loves, that where it's talking about Santa flying through and he's got his really cool sleigh. It's on that same album, but this song is called Santa's Beard. And again, it's not really a clever song, but I think it's one that a lot of people can really relate to. It's where this kid takes his little brother to the department store to see Santa. And the little boy finds out that Santa's, not really Santa. And he pulls the pillow out of his shirt and he yanked his beard down. And the little brother was deeply, deeply disappointed. He was, it just had his feelings hurt all over the place because he realized that Santa wasn't real. So yeah, and then the big brother's trying to make excuses. Well, no, he's helping Santa. That's what he's doing here. He's helping Santa. He's not really Santa, but he's helping him. And it's just I think a lot of people could relate to that. I think a lot of people have probably had a similar experience with a younger sibling or younger cousin or something like that. And I think it's a really really cool little neat little song, and it doesn't last very long at all. I think it's two verses, and maybe a chorus or so. It's got a little instrumental break in there, with some really cool keyboards in it, but it's not a very long song at all. But for some reason, everybody always gravitates towards Little Saint Nick, and I like Santa's Beard a little bit better. So I think it's just a fun song. It goes back to childhood, and I think it takes a lot of other people back to their own childhood. I think it's really really smart in the way that it's written that way because it does take you back. You hear the song, it takes you back to being a kid. Whether or not you experienced anything similar to that or not, it just takes you back to being a kid. And so it's really neat in that regard. So that's my on my top 10 list as well. Santa's Beard by the Beach Boys. All right, this one may surprise a few people, and it actually surprised me. I've known about this song for a long time, but just over the last couple of 2 or 3 years is when it really, really started speaking to me. So, I'm 52 years old, and I'm a connoisseur of all different kinds of music. So, I like old school rap, I like old school hip hop, I love a lot of country music. I play a banjo. I love rock music, I love '80s music. So, I mean, I run the gamut when it comes to music and my preferences. So, this one is by the boy band New Edition. A lot of you people know it was Johnny Gill and Bobby Brown and Belle Biv DeVoe were all in it. Ralph Tresvant was in it. And they were hugely successful in the 80s and 90s. But they did a Christmas album in 1985 that a lot of people don't really know about. And they redid Christmas All Over the World. And there was another one I can't remember. But this song is called Happy Holidays. And it sounds exactly what you might think a mid-80s R&B Christmas song would sound like, and the harmonies in it are spectacular. They kinda sing over each other in certain spots, and I wish I could play it for you, I really do. YouTube just won't let me do it though, but it's a really, really, really well put together song called "Happy Holidays" by New Edition. A fun fact, a lot of people don't know this, Bobby Brown famously was in New Edition. This is the last album that he was on with New Edition. So a lot of people don't even realize that. The Christmas album that New Edition did is the last album that Bobby Brown was on. So I thought that was really, really cool. I didn't know that until like recently. But, I had a little fun with that fact because I was a huge Bobby Brown fan. I was a senior in high school when he went solo, and so, yeah, I was a huge Bobby Brown fan. I didn't know that they had that Christmas album until years later, though, so that was really, really neat. Go check it out, seriously, the New Edition Christmas album. I don't even know what it's called, but it just shows up in my Spotify thing, and I play it all the time. My favorite song off of that is called "Happy Holidays," and it's just a really neat R&B, Christmassy song. It's not a romantic song. It's a it no, it's Christmas themed all the way through. So it's a really, 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 really cool song. So that's in my top 10 list also. Happy Holidays from New Edition. All right. The next one on the list is That Spirit of Christmas by Ray Charles. Now, this is the one that you're all going to recognize from Christmas Vacation when Clark was up in the attic and he's rummaging through all the stuff trying to find some clothes to keep warm. And he runs across the old projector um, with the old film tapes, and he, wraps up and he's got the little turban looking thing on his head, and he's watching these old home videos, and it's his family, and you can recognize everybody. Uncle Lewis is in there, and you can recognize his mom and um, stuff video from when Clark was a kid, and so that's one of my favorite parts of the movie, and one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite parts of the movie is because of the song. It's just an amazing song. Excuse me. I didn't know, and I still don't really know if Ray Charles ever really did much Christmas music at all, but it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous song. I don't know any better way to describe it. It's just a beautiful song. The guitar through it is just beautiful. The lyrics are amazing, and after after the first verse going into, I guess, what might be the chorus, you have these background singers coming in, and it's just, they're humming, and it's just so good. It's just such a great song, just so well put together. And he talks about sitting by the fireplace and taking a walk through the snow and all that stuff, and it's just really good. I don't have many words for it other than it's just an amazing song. So, yep, you've already heard it, I'm sure, but Spirit of Christmas by Ray Charles. All right, the next one on the list is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Burl Ives. And this one seems maybe a little juvenile. Is it? I don't think so. But it kind of feels like it is. It's obviously from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion animated feature from, I think, the 60s, that everybody grew up watching. It's still one of my favorite things to watch around the holidays. But it's obviously geared more for little kids, and maybe that's why it might feel a little bit juvenile. There have also been a bunch of variations of this song. Gene Autry did a really good one. Dean Martin did a really good one. But it just Rudolph's a classic, and really nobody did it better, in my estimation, than Burl Ives. Yeah, the original version for the TV special. So that one is pure nostalgia. It's not that it's just an amazing song. Burl Ives wasn't an amazing artist, although he was an incredibly talented man and a very good actor, that who I think is very underrated. But the song itself isn't. It's not just spectacular, but man, you play it for anybody, and it's going to be bringing up memories of childhood. It doesn't matter. It's one of those nostalgia bringers. Like, it just brings the nostalgia to you. And that's one of the things that I appreciate more about Christmas as I get older is the nostalgic feelings that I get when I see a a house. Did you ever have the house in your neighborhood that only had the lights on the one window? They had lights around the one window pane, and that was it. That's all they put up. Everybody had a house like that in the neighborhood. It makes me think of stuff like that. This song does. And so, just really for nostalgic purposes, yeah, Rudolph had to be on the list, and the version that Burl Ives did is it's hands down the best one, and nobody's ever done it better. So, anyway, that's my next one on the list. All right, I had some dogs barking there for a minute, and I guess everything's okay now. I don't have a very nice studio, folks. I really don't. It's a desk basically set up in my laundry room. So I'm working on that. I'm still working on it. Okay, the next one is Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. And a lot of you are probably familiar with this song. It's, they play it all over Sirius XM every Christmas season. I'm an old school rap fan, and Run DMC was one of my favorites back in the day when I was growing up. And when I found out that they did a Christmas song, now this is years ago, I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. It's a very, very cool song. It's entertaining. It starts off talking about Run, and he, finds Santa's wallet, and it's got $1 million in it, and he saw a guy with a reindeer, and it was really cool. And then uh, he found he was going to go mail it back home to Santa, and it turns out it was him for him the whole time. And then Daryl McDaniel, he gets in later, and he's talking about all the food that his mom cooks and everything. It's a really cool song. The video for this song is horrible. Oh my god. It's an awful video. The video is just it's so I mean, you can just tell it was made on like $35. It took maybe like $35 to make this video. And it's just like the quality is just terrible. The video's awful. Like there's no set really at all. It's just like a big dark room and they throw a chair here and like a lamp here. It's incredibly funny. They spent no money at all on that video. It's totally worth going to watch. So, yes, you've got to check out the video for Christmas in Hollis. It's on YouTube. It's freaking phenomenal. But the song itself, it's up there in my top 10, and it's one of the more entertaining Christmas songs that I've ever heard in my life. So, really glad to put that in there. Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. All right, we're getting down to having 2 songs on this list now, and I gotta tell you, I'm really happy with this list. It'll be totally different 6 months from now, but I'm really happy with the way that it's turned out. The next to last song that I've got on this list was actually an SNL sketch. It's "I Wish It Was Christmas Today," and it was Horatio Sands, Jimmy Fallon, Tracy Morgan, and Chris Kattan, and they were on stage, and they did this song called "I Wish It Was Christmas Today." And so I guess it never was really an actual Christmas song, like, it was never released, on record or tape or CD or anything like that, but it's actually one of the best Christmas songs that I've ever heard in my life. I don't think it gets enough credit. I wish Christmas was coming. It's close, but I wish it was today. There's nothing more simple than saying that, and that's kind of the sentiment that gets pushed through the song, but in like this really, really fun way. I don't care about the CIA. I don't care what the calendars say. I wish it was Christmas today. And, Jimmy Fallon's in the background and he's pushing the buttons on the keyboard, making that go and change keys and stuff. And, Tracy Morgan's doing his little dance right there. And Chris Kattan's just doing his head back and forth. It's really funny. The whole thing lasts like 2 or 3 minutes and it's way too short, but I think it would have. Can you cheapen an SNL skit? I think it might have cheapened it a little bit if they had gone much longer. So anyway, I wish it was Christmas today by the SNL cast. Definitely in my top 10 list of Christmas songs. And I'm going to throw in a disclaimer also. It may just be because I like to watch the video just as much as I like to listen to the song. I'm not discounting that at all. That totally could be it. But I wish it was Christmas today by the SNL cast. All right, we're down to the last song. And like I said, the other ones were in no particular order. This last song is definitely number one. I don't see it going anywhere for a long time. And this is from a band that a lot of people are familiar with, and they've done a ton of Christmas stuff. I'm talking about the Trans Siberian Orchestra. Now, most people are familiar with the Wizards in Winter and the Christmas Eve in Sarajevo and like their big production songs. Excuse me. My wife and I went and saw Trans Siberian Orchestra in concert 4 or 5 years ago. And it was this big production. They did all the lights and they had the laser show and everything was really cool. This one song though, and you have to dig a little bit to find it. It's on one of their Christmas albums. It's called The Old City Bar. And Trans Siberian Orchestra is known for their big productions, their big orchestral um, songs that they put out. This one is just a guitar and a singer. And I swear it tells one of the prettiest stories that I've ever heard in my entire life. It just the way that the lyrics are crafted and the way that they're put together, the rhyme scheme of the whole thing. it's it blows me away. But I've got to tell you right now, if I'm singing this song in the car, there are 2 or 3 spots in this song. If I'm singing it, I almost break down and start crying. It's just that pretty of a song. And so it basically tells of well, it's an old bar in the city, and all the regulars are in there. It's Christmas Eve, and this one little kid comes in, and he's telling the people in there that there's a little girl outside who needs to get home, that she can't get home. Um, and there's a really, really cool line in it, where they said the bartender asked the little kid, "Not that I care, but how would you know this?" And the little kid says, "Well, basically, if one could be home, they'd be already there." And that just it sends chills up my spine every time I hear it. But then a little bit later in the song, after some very good deeds were done, it kind of brings that same thing back to the people in the bar. It kind of draws the parallel of how they're just one big family, and they were already in their home. I'm not gonna like give it away. You've got to check it out. If you've never heard The Old City Bar by Trans-Siberian Orchestra, you've got to check it out. It's an amazing song. It's going to be number one on my list for a long, long time. I can see it. And it's just beautiful. I really, really hope that a lot of you people have not heard this song and you're going to have the opportunity to go listen to it now. So, anyway, that's my top 10. I made it through. I think it was pretty painless. I do have one honorable mention, and that's Silver Bells by Bing Crosby and Carol Richards. It's not really much different from many other versions of this song that you've ever heard before, but I always thought it was kind of cool. And I never heard this song until like a couple of years ago, because I just assumed that it was just another Silver Bells. Now, Bing Crosby's great, but it's Silver Bells. So, but then, he gets to the part in the second chorus where she's like, "Silver bells," and he goes, "The corner Santa Claus," and I'm like, "What? Where did that come from?" Silver bells is busy now because, and it's just, I always thought that was so cool that they threw that in there, and like Bing Crosby's the only guy cool enough to do that anyway. So that's my honorable mention. I do have one more thing to say. Okay. So going forward, I'm going to be doing other, countdowns. I've got my favorite movies and, all kinds of other stuff. But one of the things that I'm also going to be doing is reaction videos to new Christmas music that I've never heard before. So if I ever get any kind of traction with this channel at all, um, I want to hear from you guys. I want to, if you would please drop me a note in the comments, and you can email me at christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com. And I want to hear some recommendations for some new Christmas music, because I love people who do the reaction videos. And I think I'm going to just start doing reaction videos, but I want to do it to new Christmas music that I've never heard before. So, like, usually it's the younger kids who never heard the old school songs. Excuse me. Now it's going to be like the old school dude that never heard the new stuff, because I don't know new Christmas music at all. Like, I know the older stuff. Once I get up basically to "All I Want for Christmas Is You," and look, this is kind of controversial, but I can't stand that song. But once you get to that era, my Christmas music knowledge, it just goes out the window. So give me some help. I want to start doing Christmas reaction videos. So throw me some suggestions, throw me some comments. If you're watching on YouTube, then let me know in the comments some cool songs to check out. If you're listening to the podcast, send me an email to christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I really appreciate you guys checking in with us. Like I said, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Um, I'm going to get on some kind of routine here where I'm going to be having scheduled shows, and I'll be on a schedule. But I'm going to kind of wing it until I get to that point. But anyway, thanks for checking us out. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a great night.